You are welcome to the first session of Cytology class. In this session, we are going to discuss on the cell, which acts as a fundamental unit of life and organism. Cells are considered as the basic units of life in part because they come in discrete and easily recognizable packages. That is because all cells are surrounded by a structure called cell membrane, which, much like the walls of a house, and it serves as a clear boundary between the cell's internal and external environments. The cell membrane is sometimes also referred to as plasma membrane. The cell's cytoplasm is home to numerous functional as well as structural elements. These elements exist in the form of molecules and organelles, and picture them as the tools or appliances and inner rooms of the cell. Major classes of the intercellular organic molecules include nucleic acids, proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and all of which are essential to the cell's function. And cells are called as the fundamental unit of life because they are capable of independent existence and carry out all the functions which are necessary for a living being. A cell carries out nutrition, respiration, excretion, transportation, and reproduction the way an individual organism does. Unicellular organisms are capable of independent existence, which shows cells' capability to exist independently. Due to this, a cell is called as the fundamental and structural unit of life, and all living beings are composed of the basic unit of life, that is, the cells. Now, some of the historical milestones with respect to the cells. It was Robert Hooke who first discovered the cell in 1665. Then, in 1674, Leeuwenhoek was first to discover free living cells in a pond water. Later, Robert Brown discovered the nucleus in 1831. Purkinje coined the term protoplasm. It was in 1839. Sheldon and Swan proposed a theory called cell theory. The discovery of electron microscope in 1940 made it possible to the study of the structures of cell organelles. There are two major classes of cells, namely prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Cells which fall into one of the two categories. The predominantly single-celled organisms of the domain bacteria, archaea, are classified as prokaryotes. The animal cells, plant cells, fungi, and protists are the eukaryotes. So this table gives information on the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. The first one is the size. In prokaryotes, it ranges from 0.22 to millimicrons. In eukaryotic cells, it ranges between 5 to 100 millimicrons. Nucleus is absent in prokaryotic cell, whereas it is present in eukaryotic cell. With respect to the chromosome number, usually in prokaryote there is only one, whereas in eukaryotic cell more than one. The true membrane-bound organelles are absent in prokaryote, whereas it is present in eukaryote. Bacteria, archaea are the examples for prokaryotes, Animals and plants are the examples for the eukaryotic cells. With respect to the genetic recombination, partial, unidirectional transfer takes place in prokaryotic cell, whereas in eukaryotic cell, meiosis and fusion of gametes takes place. Then, lysosomes and peroxisomes are absent in prokaryotes and are present in eukaryotes. Microtubules are absent, whereas present in eukaryote. Endoplasmic reticulum, absent in prokaryote, present in eukaryote. Mitochondria, absent in prokaryote, present in eukaryote. Cytoskeleton may be absent in prokaryote, it is present in eukaryote. With respect to the DNA, in prokaryotes, multiple proteins fold and condense DNA, which is organized into conformations like supercoiled or wound around the tetramers of proteins called HU proteins. In eukaryotes, wrap their DNA around proteins called histones. The ribosomes are smaller in prokaryotes and larger in eukaryotes. The Golgi apparatus is absent in prokaryote and present in eukaryote. The flagella, it is submicroscopic in size and composed of only one fiber, whereas in case of eukaryotes, microscopic in size, membrane bound and usually arranged as 9 doublets surrounding 2 singlets. Cell wall is chemically complex, whereas it is present in the plant cells and fungi, which is chemically simpler. Structure of a cell. A cell is enclosed in a membranous casing and is filled with a liquid substance which is called the cytoplasm. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. It is somewhat hard but permeable to most of the substances. Cell wall is available in plant cells and in the cells of bacteria and fungi. Plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane. As far as the functions are concerned, it provides containers to the cytoplasm. It facilitates passage of various substances in and out of the cell. So this is the diagrammatic representation of a plant cell. Organelles have a wide range of responsibilities, from generating energy for a cell to controlling its growth and reproduction. From this point of view, we also think of the organelles as different teams within the factory. Each team carries out its specific tasks and coordinates to make sure the entire factory works smoothly. So this is the summary of the information related to organelle, their function and as a factory part. The nucleus acts as a DNA storage. It files blueprints and management. Mitochondria is a energy production house, that is a power plant. Ribosomes, they play a vital role in protein synthesis and act as machines to produce product choice. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, protein production and modification, and factory part coordination of toy production line and decoration. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, lipid production and detoxification, and on the other side it is accessory production. Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus, protein transportation and export and packaging and shipping department. Peroxisome, lipid breakdown, redox reactions, Here it is hazard chemical handling. Lysosomes, protein destruction, and on the other side in play a vital role in recycling. Then cytoskeleton, cell movement, intracellular transportation, that is the conveyor system. Cell membrane define the inside and outside of the cell, that is factory building. Cell wall, structural support and protection in plant cells, in reinforced factory building. Chloroplast, photosynthesis in plant cells, they act as the solar panels. Vacuole, storage and water regulation in plant cells, uh, here they act as storage spaces. Nucleus and its functions. Nucleus is covered by a double membrane called nuclear envelope. The fluid which is inside the nucleus is called as nucleoplasm and which contains chromosomes. The chromosomes contain genes which are the carriers of genetic information. Nucleus controls all functions of the cell. The second organelle is the mitochondria, that is the powerhouse. It is a double membrane structure. Its inner membrane is projected into numerous finger-like projections called crestae. It is a site of cellular respiration, and energy is stored in the form of ATP and also known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria have their own DNA and ribosomes, and hence mitochondria can produce their own protein. Another organelle is endoplasmic reticulum, which is a mesh-like structure and is composed of numerous tubes. It extends from plasma membrane to the inner membrane of nucleus. There are two kinds of endoplasmic reticulum, that is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes on its surface, which gives the rough appearance. It serves as the transport channel in the cell. ER also serves as the role of packaging many substances in the cell. Then Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. So actually it was discovered by Camillo Golgi, hence the name Golgi complex. It is composed of many sac-like structures which are stacked one above the other. Golgi complex is responsible for packaging various substances in the cell. Lysosomes. These are small sac-like structures and they are derived from Golgi complex. Lysosomes contain digestive enzymes. These enzymes digest the foreign particle and thus destroys them. Sometimes lysosome may burst open and its content ends up digesting the contents of the cell. The cell gets killed in the process. Due to this, the lysosomes are also called as suicide bag of the cell. Then ribosomes. These are tiny dot-like structures interspread in the cytoplasm and also on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum. The ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. Plastids. Plastids are found in plant cells. They are of two types, chromoplast and leukoplast. Colorful plastids are called as chromoplast and colorless are called as leukoplast. Chloroplast is a green in color and is found in green parts of the plant. Plastids too have their own DNA and ribosomes. Leukoplasts are responsible for storing food, such as carbohydrates, protein, and lipid. Chromoplasts impact various colors to the plant parts. A leaf of the plant is green in color because of the chloroplast. Chloroplast is the site of photosynthesis. Then vacuoles. These are fluid-filled chambers and are often seen in many cells. Vacuoles are very large in plant cells. A plant cell usually has a single but a large vacuole. Such a vacuole fills almost the entire space inside the cell. Vacuoles are much smaller and very few in animal cells. Now at the end, to sum up, some cells are organisms unto themselves, others are part of multicellular organisms. All cells are made up from the same major classes of organic molecules, that is nucleic acids, proteins, carbohydrates and lipids. In addition, cells can be placed into two major categories as a result of ancient evolutionary events. Prokaryotes with their cytoplasmic genomes and eukaryotes with their nuclear encased genomes and their membrane-bound organelles. Though they are very small, the cells have evolved into a vast variety of shapes and sizes. Together they form a tissue that themselves forms an organs and eventually entire organism. Thank you.